has Good morning! So you may recognize this outfit and look from a couple of other videos that are going up recently, but this video is going to be my current foundation routine and just kind of what I do in the summer to get kind of a flawless face, if you will. It's nowhere near flawless, but I like the look of kind of a little bit more natural rather than like cakiness. So I'm just going to take you through the products that I use and the steps that I go through in order to achieve my foundation look. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that I do is I will take my little Fix Plus concoction and spray it all over my face. Now when I say Fix Plus concoction, this is not just Fix Plus in this bottle. I took a bottle of Fix Plus and once it was halfway gone, I actually filled the rest of the half with this, which is MAC, it says Lightful Marine Bright Formula Softening Lotion. So just at MAC, if you just go and look for the softening lotion, that's what this is. It's actually not really a lotion, it's more of a liquid. So anyway, I fill it half with Fix Plus, half with the softening lotion, and then I put like 3 or 4 drops of the Care Blend oils by MAC in here as well, shake it up, and I use that as kind of like a treatment before I do my foundation. So all of these things together is really good for moisturizing. It's got vitamins in it. It's got tons of things that are just going to work on your skin underneath your foundation to try and keep it nice and soft and happy. So I actually learned this trick from a makeup artist that works at MAC and it works really well and it smells nice too. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray that all over my face and just give it a second to dry because it is going to be pretty shiny for a second. And then what I usually do is just kind of take my beauty blender, or in this case my Real Techniques sponge, get it wet, squeeze it out, go through all that, get out my products, my brushes and stuff while this is drying, and then apply my primer. So this is one of my very favorite, if not my favorite primers ever. I have skin that gets kind of shiny and oily, but it's not like an oil slick. But this keeps it matte all day long, and for anybody with oily skin, even if it's really oily, this is amazing and in my opinion the best primer out there for you. And you only need the tiniest amount. I always pump out way too much. That's enough. That's more than enough for my entire face. So you take the tiniest amount, put it on whatever areas get shiny, and yeah, you'll see just how far this stuff goes. It's crazy. Any skin tone can use this primer. It looks a little bit intimidating because it is pure white, but you're supposed to really work it into the skin to the point where it doesn't show up white on your skin. So it does not matter how deep your skin tone is. Once it's rubbed in, then you won't see it anymore. And that's how you know that it's properly applied, is when you don't see the white anymore. So I'm just going to put this in the areas that I tend to get shiny. So I usually just do my nose, forehead, kind of the center of my cheeks here, and my chin. Okay, so now my face is properly primed. In general, most people don't even need to prime, like, unless you get oily here, but like the perimeter of your face, really, it does not even need a primer most of the time. Unless you find that you get fading right there. That's generally not an area that really needs to be primed. So next I'm going to move on to my actual foundation. Now, some people do concealer before their foundation. I prefer to do it after because your foundation is not supposed to be like your last effort to cover everything. It's supposed to be just something to even out your skin tone. So you don't want something that's just going to cake on and really cover all of your blemishes. What I like to do is apply my foundation, and then in areas where it's not quite covering perfectly or I have spots that are showing through, then I put my concealer on. Another thing to note about that is if you put your concealer on and then your foundation, in the process of applying your foundation, if you do it right, you're rubbing that concealer away anyway and you have to go back over it. So I'm going to use my very favorite of the moment, at least, which is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus. I'm currently in shade 30, that's my summer shade. So I'm going to just squeeze it onto my hand. That is probably too much, we'll see. So what I'm going to do is just kind of dab it on to kind of random areas on my face. Ooh, yeah, look at, that's way too much, Sarah. What's going on? So I just do some of it, and then I blend it in. I'm not really gonna focus on applying any foundation under my eyes because I'm just gonna conceal that, so there's really no point. And just avoiding my brows so that I don't get foundation in them since they're already done. By the way, I just filmed my brow routine, and so you can check that out. I will put the link down below. If it goes up before this, I'll still put the link down below. So now moving on to this side of the face and just blending it in. And depending on the coverage of your foundation, you'll find that, I don't know, putting it on before your concealer almost changes what you expect of your foundation, because some people look for a really full coverage foundation because they think that it's a concealer. At the same time, they want to do it all in one step, which to me just does not work. So I think that applying it before your concealer really helps you to know how much coverage you actually need in order to even out your skin tone, because like I said, that is the function of your foundation. You should not expect it to be doing any concealing really, because it's just gonna look super cakey, and that's not what you want. You want something in the middle. So I'm just gonna go and apply a little bit more in spots that I feel like I didn't get as much product. Okay, so especially for the summer, I really don't like to feel like I have a ton of product on my skin. I don't like it to feel heavy or like my skin is suffocating. On the warmer days, I really like to feel like my skin can breathe. So this is probably all of the coverage that I'm going to need from my foundation, and then I will go in with my concealer. I am using Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Concealer. It's the same concealer that I used for doing my brows, and I just keep it on my hand from that and use whatever's left over to conceal my blemishes, of which I have many. So now the last thing that I do is move on to my under eyes, and for that I'm going to use my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. And in my opinion, this is a really, really good concealer for the under eyes, because I, for example, have straight up wrinkles under my eyes. I've had like allergy issues and so many issues that have just caused the skin under my eyes to be really stretched out and just really haggard. So I really need a concealer that's not going to settle into those lines and make them even more pronounced, which is why I really like this concealer, because I find that it does a really good job. So I'm not focusing on any particular shape that I'm placing this in, but kind of in that triangle, just because that is a plane of your face, and whether it's trendy or not to make that triangle, the planes of your face don't change. And so I find that I still want to highlight that area and lift it to give kind of that shape to my face and to brighten my under eye area, of course. So I like to, you can see that I'm patting right under my eye. I'm using my finger mostly, and then kind of on the perimeter of where I put that concealer, I'll use my sponge to kind of just blend it into where my foundation is. So that is my completed foundation / concealer routine. After that, I will just take my little fluffy brush, and I will use my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Diffused Light and just pat right under here to set that concealer. And then I will set any other places that I feel like break up throughout the day. Here's one of them. Sometimes like right here, or where I've put a little bit more concealer, I'll just set with the tiniest amount of product. And that's basically it. And then depending on what look I'm doing, I will either contour or just do like more of like a glow bronzer. And then whatever blush I'm feeling like doing, it just kind of depends, but this is my standard that doesn't really change from day to day and depending on what look I'm doing. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that you learned something interesting and maybe it helped you a little bit. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye!